Welcome. This is a product overview of ComplianceForge's Cybersecurity Risk Assessment template, which we call the CRA. Over the next few minutes, we will walk through what it is, what problems it solves, exactly what is included, and why risk assessments matter. The CRA is designed to support the risk management program to conduct recurring risk assessments. It leverages the security, compliance, and resilience risk management model from the Secure Controls Framework for scalability, and it delivers immense time and cost savings, enabling your subject matter experts to fill in the details that only they know. Almost every framework and customer questionnaire asks for evidence of a risk assessment. But when was your last one? And could you hand an auditor a credible, repeatable result? Outsourcing each assessment to consultants is expensive, and ad hoc spreadsheets rarely hold up to scrutiny. The CRA template gives you a running start. Editable Microsoft Word and Excel templates that walk you through scoping, calculating, and reporting risk with a completed example to model. Built on the Secure Controls Framework and grounded in NIST 830, 837, and 839, it gets you roughly 80 to 90% of the way there, and then you tailor the scope and inputs to your environment. Most companies have requirements to perform risk assessments, but they lack the knowledge and experience to undertake such assessments. That means businesses are faced to either outsource the work to expensive consultants or ignore the requirement and hope they do not get in trouble. In either situation, it is not a good place to be. The good news is that ComplianceForge created an affordable solution for businesses to conduct their own information security risk assessments. The CRA provides a professional, repeatable format for performing cybersecurity risk assessments. It walks users through calculating risk and reporting on it, even when the team lacks formal risk assessment training. And it includes both blank templates and a fully completed example so you have a reference for what good output looks like. The CRA is built using the Secure Controls Framework control set, which means it serves as a meta-framework, applicable to over 200 cybersecurity laws, regulations, and frameworks, including NIST 853, NIST 801-71, the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, ISO 27001 and 27002, PCI DSS, HIPAA, and the SCF itself. If you can use Microsoft Word and Excel, then you can perform a risk assessment by simply following the instructions and editing the template to suit your specific requirements. ComplianceForge did the hard work of creating the formatting, bringing together the correct scope of information that needs to be assessed, and building the calculations to make your work as simple as selecting from a few drop-down answers. So what exactly is the CRA? Performing an information security risk assessment is a pretty common requirement that can seem like an insurmountable obstacle, since most people are not trained on how to perform one, or lack a simple tool that is comprehensive enough to meet their needs. This is where the CRA comes into play. A simple Microsoft Excel template to walk you through calculating risk, and a corresponding Word template to report on that risk. The CRA supports the Risk Management Program product in answering the how questions for how your company manages risk. But you do not need the RMP to generate risk assessments with the CRA. Where the RMP lays the groundwork for how risk is to be managed, the CRA is the template that allows you to produce the end product of risk management, a professional quality risk assessment report. The CRA is a one-time purchase of editable Microsoft Office-based documentation templates. There is no software to install, no agent to deploy, no account to provision, and no cloud environment to configure. If your organization can open and edit Microsoft Word and Excel files, the CRA is ready to use. It is delivered as fully editable Word and Excel files. The Excel workbook contains the risk calculation engine. The Word document is the report template. Documentation is delivered via email download link within 1 to 2 business days of purchase, often the same business day. There is no installer, no license server, and no activation step. And it is a one-time purchase. A single entity license is included at $950, with no recurring subscription requirement. The CRA is also included as part of the RMP for organizations that need both the program and the assessment template together. This deployment model is intentional. Risk assessment documentation belongs in your organization's own hands, inside your own GRC or document management system, rather than locked inside a vendor's SaaS tool. Once delivered, this product belongs to you. Organizations face common cybersecurity risk assessment challenges, and the CRA is designed to address them with a defensible, repeatable, audit-ready assessment template. The first is a lack of in-house security experience. Many organizations lack internal staff who can come up with quality risk assessments. The CRA is an affordable solution for managers or IT staff to conduct quality risk assessments. The second is compliance requirements. Most organizations run into trouble in audits when asked to provide evidence of risk assessments being performed. The CRA provides a template to conduct repeatable risk assessments in a very professional format. The third is audit failures. It is very common for clients and partners to request evidence of a risk assessment so they can also understand your risks. The CRA provides this evidence. And the fourth is vendor requirements. Requirements such as PCI DSS, HIPAA Massachusetts 201 CMR 17, and NIST 800-171 establish a mandate to conduct risk assessments. The CRA addresses these compliance requirements. The first is clear documentation. The CRA provides the comprehensive documentation to prove that your risk program exists. The second is time savings. You can start assessing risk as soon as you receive the CRA. Orders are generally delivered the same business day. And the third is alignment with leading practices. The CRA covers natural and man-made risks, as well as risk associated with the absence or state of cybersecurity controls, as defined by NIST 800-171. This creates a quality scope for a cybersecurity risk assessment. It is designed so that someone who can use Microsoft Word and Excel can successfully perform a risk assessment by following the instructions and editing the template. So what do you actually receive? The latest version of the CRA includes a section for assessing both natural and man-made risks, a section for assessing reasonably expected cybersecurity controls, using the Secure Controls Framework control set, and a section for assessing capability maturity built into the Cybersecurity Control Assessment portion of the risk assessment. You receive blank templates in Microsoft Word and Excel formats, plus a fully filled-out example of the templates that you can edit in Microsoft Word and Excel. Now compare that against the two alternatives for obtaining quality cybersecurity documentation. For your internal staff to generate comparable documentation, it would take them an estimated 100 internal staff work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $8,000 in staff-related expenses. That is about 2 to 3 months of development time where your staff would be diverted from other work. If you hire a consultant to generate this documentation, it would take them an estimated 70 consultant work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $20,500. That is about 1 to 2 months of development time for a contractor to provide you with the deliverable. The CRA is approximately 19% of the cost for your internal staff and approximately 8% of the cost for an external consultant to generate equivalent documentation. The template itself is $950. The CRA is built to be evaluated before purchase. PDF examples show representative content from both the Word Risk Assessment Report template and the Excel calculation worksheet. They also illustrate the 6x6 risk matrix scoring and the before and after risk charts that the Excel workbook produces automatically. So how much work is left for you? Here is the customization process at a glance. ComplianceForge aims for approximately an 80% solution, because it is impossible to write a 100% cookie-cutter document that can be equally applied across every organization. Risk assessments depend on the specific assets in scope, the threat model, and the controls in place, so the remaining work is fine-tuning the CRA with the specific information that only your organization knows. The Excel workbook is mostly drop-down driven, which removes most of the methodology work. In practice, customization is filling in the blanks, identifying the scope of the assessment, listing the assets included, defining the threats considered, selecting the controls assessed, and naming the risk owners. If you want a hand, ComplianceForge offers optional professional services. They are not required to customize ComplianceForge documentation. The 5-hour bundle may be beneficial for companies that need some guidance on getting started with how to tailor their documentation. The 10-hour bundle is for companies that need additional guidance on tailoring their documentation to meet their compliance requirements. And the 20-hour bundle is for companies that need robust services beyond just 10 hours to assist in tailoring their documentation. Purchased professional service hours expire 120 days, or 4 months, from the time of purchase if unused. Hours are intended to supplement, not replace, your own customization work. There are more reasons to buy. Formal cybersecurity risk assessments have become a baseline expectation across regulatory, contractual, and customer due diligence contexts. If you fall in scope for any of these compliance requirements, you have to perform risk assessments, and you need this template. PCI DSS version 4 requires companies to perform a formal risk assessment. Massachusetts 201 CMR 17 requires companies to identify and assess reasonably foreseeable internal and external risks. The HIPAA security rule requires an accurate and thorough assessment of potential risks. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley X safeguard rule requires companies to identify and assess risks to customer information. And NIST 800-171 requires risks to be periodically assessed. Without a defensible, repeatable risk assessment process, organizations face audit findings, lost contracts, and elevated insurance premiums. The CRA is grounded in NIST 830, the Risk Management Guide for Information Technology Systems, NIST 837, the Guide for Applying the Risk Management Framework, and NIST 839, Managing Information Security Risk. The same authoritative sources auditors and certified assessors expect to see referenced in risk methodology documentation. The Excel-based worksheet comes with graphs showing before and after risk levels. These are just embedded into the report to provide a good visual. The calculations from the worksheets make it easy to show raw risk scores and also weighted scores, which take into consideration the importance of the control, the maturity of the protections in place, and any compensating measures that may exist to reduce the risk. So how are risks scored? The CRA utilizes a 6x6 risk assessment matrix. The calculations show raw risk scores and also take into account weighting factors, such as the importance of the control, the maturity of the protections in place, and any compensating measures that may exist to reduce the risk. The CRA is able to show both the raw risk score as well as the final score when compensating controls are taken into consideration. Here is the 6x6 risk assessment matrix at a glance. If you have any questions, please email support@ComplianceForge.com or call 1-307-241-8740. We've been helping organizations since 2005, and we are always happy to help.